It's Cat, and it's Woof, and they talk. It's Cat and Woof Talk, Cat and Woof Talk, Cat and Woof. It's a Cat and Woof, and they talk.
All right, we are back. This is
Cat
and Woof, and we are talking about a new live action anime adaptation in the form of One Punch Man, the forthcoming
I
live action.
I don't know how to
series.
feel about it because most live action these days, when anime adaptations come out, are garbage besides like One Piece.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot that have really worked out. We know about the Death Note
It was gross.
debacle, the Death Note disaster, if you will. Not a great example there.
D&D Death Note disaster.
Hell yeah. Beyond that, I think it's been mostly just. Can we say that One Punch Man would make? Oh, you know what? What would be the other one? Okay, so if One Punch Man is good, it will be like the second one of these that's been done that's really worked.
Yeah,
Right?
besides the other one of
I
like
guess we
One
could say
Piece.
that.
Yeah. One Piece
One
was the
Piece-
first one that worked. Like
One
ever.
Piece was good. Before that, I don't think any of them was more disappointing than Cowboy Bebop. If
The Dragon Ball one.
Oh yeah.
Can't forget about that thing, can you?
No, well, I can't help but try to forget about that one. And I feel bad for the people involved. I know that there were actors in there who really enjoyed the movie,
Yeah.
or who really enjoyed the
The
series.
anime, yeah.
And then when they were brought on to do the movie, they saw what was happening with the script and saw what was
Yeah.
happening in the, And,
It was just gross.
yeah. I mean, Piccolo was supposed to be green. Why Piccolo
Why wasn't he green?
Why Piccolo wasn't green is another question. It's just, to me,
it was
all
not good.
inexcusable. From there, you have Death Note, you have Cowboy Bebop.
Both of those are inexcusable disasters too.
It was like the first one they did right was
Was One Piece.
the One Piece adaptation. And, it still only had one season. So,
Supposed to get a season 2. Oh.
well, I'm sure it will. It was hugely popular, and it did the adaptation.
Oh, the anime
justice.
is still going on.
Oh, well, yeah. But it did the adaptation justice, but like I said, we're only one season in. A lot of things could happen. You could get a situation where people sour on it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, considering that they're going into season 2 of that, and there's a lot of different things that happen in quote unquote, season 2 of One Piece.
Right. Well, like a lot of anime, it's not broken up into seasons the same way we do
It's
in
arcs,
America.
yeah.
We have the arcs, and they have been trying to cover a lot of ground pretty quickly
Yeah.
with the episodes that they've done so far with that one. But we're getting off onto a separate tangent.
Yes, sorry.
The point being, it would still be an anomaly if this really takes off and does well.
Well, considering who they have as a script writer,
Yes, so this just came out.
I will be very happy.
It looks like they have brought on Dan Harmon, who we love from Community.
And Rick and Morty.
To do rewrites and to punch up the script, make it funnier. Now,
Which is great for this type of this type of anime, because I don't know if you know much about this universe.
Sure, but
But it's basically making fun of anime tropes. Like,
okay, well, it's good news and it's bad news. It's good news because it's Dan Harmon. He's an expert at the meta humor, like
Yeah.
with Abed joking about
God,
we're
that
on a
was
show,
great. Yes.
with the entire premise of Rick and Morty gets
Yes.
very meta.
Very, very meta.
Almost
This
every
shows
episode.
this show's kind of like that. This anime is kind of like that.
So yeah, so this is it really works with the style that he's developed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the flip side of that is it's kind of bad news too, because if we're already hearing about
Rewrites, yeah,
then
it's kind of gross.
something maybe isn't working. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that it's gross at this point. It's not a good sign.
If they mess up this, everyone's going to be disappointed. This anime is unbelievably popular.
Well, it's going to be...
I would say understatedly almost as big as One Piece.
It's going to be... Listen, I don't know how you can be an anime fan and really have your hopes up super high. I mean,
yeah,
you got to know there's a track record here. Not a lot of these adaptations
go well.
Yeah, it's kind
Most of them
shaky.
go shitty.
It's kind of shaky. But so sort of a mixed bag on the news that we have about this so far. They are doing rewrites.
Also, I don't know how they're going to do one character who's kind of important. Not Saitama himself, as you can see here. He's got to kind of get a bald guy that's like, kind of skinny to do him.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like for your main character, and it's always a question of how is this character supposed to there's a lot of people get very uncomfortable about.
Well, it's all depending
does
because
it have to be an Asian dude? Luffy was never really meant to be an Asian.
He was always
dude.
Brazilian.
He was always Brazilian.
Yeah.
And all of the characters in that show sort of addressed.
Well, the creator addressed it himself. He was like, "Yeah, Luffy was always supposed to be
Brazilian."
Yeah, Brazilian.
I don't know enough about One Punch
I
Man
don't know honestly if he's supposed to be Japanese or not.
Are people gonna be weird about this because
But he does have
generally
the bigger eyes, so I would assume.
Generally, people pay a little bit too much attention to this kind of thing, but
to me, there's
always issues with casting.
To me, to get him right, Saitama, who you see here, to get him right, I just need a bald man that is skinny but fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I need. That's it. And a lot of people will be like, "No, I need him to be buff," and I'm like, "Well, Saitama's not that buff. He just there's a lot to him, but he's not that buff. Just saying."
Well, I think the most important thing is going to be getting the costumes right.
That is true.
Any superhero anime.
But he's also got a really simple costume.
Well, here's the problem is you have this every time with these adaptations, is it will derail the hype train right in its tracks. If people are looking at the costumes and they're saying, there have been cosplayers who have already done it better than this.
It's true.
You don't want your costumes to be negatively compared to the cosplay community because those people are serious.
Oh, yeah.
And that gives the fans some expectations about what can be done and what should be done. And to be honest, when they do these adaptations, it's a multi-million-dollar affair. You should get the costumes right.
Agreed. But as I was saying before, there's one character who is basically his sidekick, but is kind of himself a main character. He is basically a cyborg.
Okay, so there's a cyborg character in here.
And I don't know how they're going to do that into a live adaptation because he's very odd looking.
Aren't we all?
I guess. Also, this takes place in Japan, so I assume they're all Asian, but...
Okay, well, yeah, it's different when a show's distinctly Japanese. People get very weird about when you try to translate it and do something American.
Yeah.
And,
Well, with One Piece, they kind of go everywhere, so it's not strictly in Japan. So they can kind of get away with it, but this is kind of strictly in Japan a lot of the time.
Well, listen, to me, I think people pay too much attention to that kind of stuff. What's most important to me is the costumes.
Yes.
And, you want to see attractive actors. I don't care what race they are,
True.
as long as they look good.
Yeah.
Too
If
many of
they
these shows get
do
that
my
wrong.
girl wrong, and if you don't know who I'm talking, I'm not naming names, but if they get my girl wrong, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be furious.
And I feel like that's what they did really wrong with Cowboy Bebop when they did that. None of the cast was just aesthetically pleasant.
No, not at all. Not even
Everybody
in
just
fucking what's it called? It's fucking Dragon Ball. I can't get over Dragon Ball. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that was just bizarre. I don't remember the characters being particularly unattractive, but I mean, it was just bizarre to try to do. I mean, that was Goku.
Yeah.
That being Goku.
Yeah.
He just wasn't Goku. Not a race thing, not a hair thing in particular. Well, okay, come on. It's kind of a hair thing. But that's some of these series, it's like, should you even try to do it in live action? And I think with Dragon Ball,
no, you should never try Dragon Ball in live action.
It wasn't a good choice.
Even
because
nowadays.
How do you even translate those
big alien fights?
The hair.
Right.
The costume.
The hair that literally defies gravity.
People are going to have some expectations.
I'm sorry.
And if you do it perfectly, it's going to look weird.
Yeah.
And if
Vegeta's hair literally defies gravity. His hair is boop to a point.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? There are going to be some balding men out there who feel so represented.
With this, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, with Vegeta too. He's got the ultimate widow's peak.
Yes.
But now you have a full-on baldy out there.
Yeah, he's been out there, but I'm
Not
excited.
in live action.
No, I'm genuinely excited that they're. What makes me excited about it is not the fact that I'm so glad that they're going after an anime that just makes fun of anime, and it's like just a fun action anime. But they're going after an anime and then going to people basically and being like, is this a good script? And then getting another person to rewrite it if it is not.
But is that necessarily good news? Do we have good news? Listen, I think they found the right person to make this show funny. My only concern is...
But there's some really, really serious parts in this show, too.
Is it going to translate? Is it going to translate from anime to live action? Especially...
I don't know.
We were talking about a show that's built on anime tropes.
Dumb anime tropes,
Is that going to translate to a live action?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that what you often see with these live action anime adaptations is they feel like we have to be more realistic, so we have to go darker.
Yeah, what I'm kind of worried...
go more serious.
What I'm kind of worried about with that is that they're going to take out most of the funny parts of this anime, which is kind of half the anime, and just kind of make it elongated action.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's probably the directions that things were going in, if I had to speculate. Because, One Piece did that, and it got a very positive response by doing that. But this is like a horse of a different color. This is a very different kind of story to try to do in live action. It's going to be a very different...
If you want to do an anime that, people have a, die-hard fan base about, and you want to give it a live action that would actually be really good in live action, one of my personal favorites, do Ouran High School Host Club. Do a fucking romantic anime.
Why she wants to see that.
I want my boy with the glasses. Oh, he hot.
That's me.
Anyways,
That's me
that is him.
About.
Oh, he good looking.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But what I'm saying is that's the easier, if you want to do the easy route of anime adaptations, go after the romantic comedies, go after the vampire ones, the dumb vampire ones. You could make that into a live action real quickly.
Well, here's the thing is it's like, have we really nailed down the good live action anime adaptation yet? So far, we've
Well,
only
they're going
had
after.
one.
They're basically going
So-
after action animes. That's what they're doing for the live action anime adaptations. Action animes.
I feel like what you have to do is before you get meta, before you do the anime about anime,
Yeah.
thing, maybe they need to take they need to, build a base to work off of. Should this have been the second successful?
No.
you
I
know,
think this should have waited just a bit later.
Right. And like you said, there are a lot of shows that would be really interesting to see adapted. I think My Hero Academia.
That
could
would have been a
still-
cool one adapted. But
Speaking of which, we are about to come into
Oh my god, season 7, dude!
season 7, and we might be reacting to those episodes because we are big My Hero
We might do it on a
fans.
weekly basis.
You might hear a lot of My Hero Academia talk from us because we do like that.
Oh,
show
it's
a lot.
such a good show.
Such a good show.
That and Chainsaw Man.
That and Chainsaw Man. We really enjoyed Chainsaw Man. We're both reading it,
Mm-hmm.
and we enjoyed watching season 1. Hopefully,
That season 2 movie's coming out.
I will
soon.
say, not a big fan of the overused CGI.
Well, that's kind of how
In
those newer animes are nowadays. Jujutsu Kaisen's kind of the same way. It uses a lot of CGI.
Listen, not a good choice. Not a good choice. I get it. It's affordable. Costs a lot of money to make a show. But at a certain point, you gotta go beyond. You gotta make some aesthetic choices, okay?
Yeah.
You can't do the easiest thing.
I feel like, and I agree with you. I feel like, and because you said this before too, off of camera or off of mic, you like the hand drawn, hand colored stuff more, and I can agree with that. But the use of CGI is overused nowadays. Attack on Titan did the same thing. Later seasons they did the same exact thing. Yes, it's cheaper, but the art looks nicer when it's hand drawn. Like, this is hand drawn. You could very tell.
Yeah, and just that manga has such fun
Yeah.
sequences, and Chainsaw Man the manga really has some fun sequences that I feel like
They could have
you-
translated well.
if you read the manga first, then you're thinking in your head, okay, how is this going to look when they do this in an anime, and to just see it turn into a sort of CGI thing is sometimes disappointing. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll
that's
say.
the other
'cause we're
thing.
going down a tangent
Yes.
here.
I was gonna bring it back. So the other thing I was gonna say is there's a lot of like fun moments in this anime that are, you see weird moments where his face gets basically chiseled and hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not an egg shape,
Oh boy.
but I don't know how
Oh,
to
you mean there's
translate.
fun reaction shots?
Yes, fun reaction shots. And I don't know how that's going to translate into live action. Same with the villains. I don't know how they're going to translate into live action. One of them's a wasp with big titties.
I'm excited to see how they do it. I'm excited for the big titty wasp woman. I'm ready for it.
She's one of the first villains.
And that will be the test. If we get a good big titty wasp lady,
Wasp woman.
wasp woman.
I'm telling you right now, if you know, if they do my girl dirty,
You're talking about
I'll
the
know.
big titty wasp.
no. If you know, you know. That if they do my green hair girl dirty, Tatsumaki, if they do Tatsumaki dirty, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be real mad. She's the hottie in the show.
Not the big titty wasp.
No, she's the hottie in the show. Oh,
Now you got
my
me
God.
thinking about big titty wasp.
You're welcome.
Oh well. Anyhow, anyways, that is the news. That's really all we know so far is there are some rewrites being done. And, what that tells me is that they are trying very hard to get the comedy in this show correct.
That's very good.
So I think it's a good sign. I think it's a good sign overall. Rewrites is a thing where it's like, oh, well, there's going to be rewrites. How good is this going to be? But
it might not hurt. It couldn't be a bad thing.
It could not be a bad thing.
Yeah, it couldn't be a bad thing.
Well, it could be a bad thing, but it could also not be a bad thing.
That's what I meant, yes.
Anyways, before my brain melts from talking to my co-host.
That is fucking rude and disrespectful.
Comment, like, what else? Ring the bell.
Subscribe.
Leave us a good comment, huh? Leave us some comments.
How are you feeling about this live action?
About your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, how your day went, what you had for breakfast.
What'd you have for lunch?
No breakfast.
No, what did you also have for lunch?
Give us, you know what, as long as it's not dinner.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Tell us what you're eating right now. Bye.
Bye.